Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center for New York Rangers hockey. Tonight, the Rangers take on the New York Islanders. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Hello, everyone. Welcome to New York Rangers hockey. Sam Rose along with Joe Micheletti and John Giannone. This is our first visit to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And boy, this feels like a good old-fashioned Rangers Islanders
it sure
game.
does, Sam. The sun just came up here in the building, and you know it's got just a tremendous buzz to it. It's got that playoff buzz, and why shouldn't it? Even though these two teams both think that they should be playing better, they're a little off their pace from a year ago. When it comes to playing against each other, all that is forgotten.
The Rangers have been playing better of late. 4 wins and 2 losses, 1 overtime loss in the last 7. Things starting to get better, and the man leading the way is the Rangers captain, Ryan McDonagh.
He's just coming off just about as good a game, I think, as you can play as a defenseman. And for Ryan McDonagh, he said yesterday, he said, you know, I've been trying to do things in practice to garner better habits and bring those to the game. Well, guess what? He's been bringing them to the game because he's just been tremendous. Handling the puck, making passes coming out of his own zone have been good. His play around the net, just doing everything he can to defend and help out. He's standing up before players can get going, using his stick. And how about the skating ability to defend as well? Then this play the other night was just absolutely fantastic. We've seen more of that offense out of Ryan McDonagh in third periods in the last couple games, and he's a big reason why they've been getting points.
Well, we know when the Rangers are on that game and shutting teams down, Henrik Lundqvist has had his best. In the 4 wins in the last 7 games, he's given up only 7 goals.
Well, you know, we got so used to him in the first 21 games where he stopped everything and the team didn't play that well. And then he lost that edge a little bit. And now I think what we're seeing is a combination. The team is playing better in front of him, and yet when they need to have a big save, he's coming up with the big saves. And so that's Henrik Lundqvist, and that's the way this team plays. It's a shared responsibility to defend. That save there was fantastic against Talbot, and then he goes on to just come up with save after save and made the big ones when he had to. And there you see the emotion and what that win against Boston meant to him.
Both these teams are even in points in the standings, and they want to make some room for the other teams and secure that playoff position. The Islanders have been struggling a little bit. 5 wins in the last 12 games. Our scouting report is brought to you by your local tri-state area Land Rover retailers. It features 2 key offensive players. Brock Nelson is now the leading goal scorer on the team. The captain, John Tavares, we know how great he can be, but he hasn't been a dominant player of late.
Yeah, those are good points, Sam. This Islander team, they're not scoring this season like they did last, and that's the thing that they're trying to focus on. They moved Brock Nelson back to center last game against Columbus, and he delivered his first NHL hat-trick. He's big, he can skate, you see the release there, he'll go to the front of the net, so he's their leading goal scorer. And John Tavares, yes, he struggled the last 20 games. It makes you wonder, even though he's getting chances, but when these 2 teams get together, he normally plays some of his best hockey, and you would have to think tonight he'll be front and center again for the Islanders. He's that good.
I agree with you there. And if it's Rangers Islanders, you know there'll be physical play, and that means Matt Martin will be leading the way for the Islanders. He's one of the biggest hitters in the entire NHL and always gives the Rangers problems. For the Rangers, Tanner Glass leads the way. He had 10 hits in their last game. We'll be set to go in just a moment. We are back. Thursday Night Hockey is brought to you by Jeep, the most awarded SUV brand ever. And as always, closed captioning is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Let's play. And we check out our Audi goaltending matchup. Henrik Lundqvist going for his 20th win and another 20-win season in his outstanding career. You see his numbers against the Islanders, 29, 15, and 6. Across the way, Yaroslav Halak. He was out with an injury. He's lost his last 2 starts since coming back, but his record against Henrik Lundqvist has been outstanding.
Yeah, well, and you know what, Sam? For the most part, he's had a good season. He hasn't been able to get back to that level yet since he had the injury, and now he's been back. He's still trying to find that. So it certainly would behoove the Rangers to try and get some early pressure and shots on him.
And here we go. Rangers without Dan Girardi in the lineup. Out with the injured hand suffered against the Boston Bruins early in the second period of that game. He's day-to-day. The Rangers certainly hope to have him back over the weekend. Rangers will play in Philadelphia Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday, 5 p.m. start in Washington. Off the icing, Rangers have Derek Stepan on with JT Miller and Jason Megna. The captain, Ryan McDonough, with Kevin Klein. Starting lineups coming in are brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
Yeah, the thing I'm surprised at is they got John Tavares, of course. The home team is the Islanders, and they can start, and they've got the last change, and they start John Tavares against the Rangers' best defensive center, Derek Stepan, and against Ryan McDonough. And the Rangers had to put their lineup in first. And I was surprised that with Tavares struggling offensively, that's his choice to play against those players. We'll see if that stays.
There's Brassard against Nielsen on the faceoff. Brassard, Zuccarello, and Rick Nash with Mark Stahl and Dan Boyle. Lundqvist makes the first save. Nash clears it out for Mark Stahl. Happy birthday. Yesterday he was 29 years old.
He's old, isn't he? Pretty soon he's going to just fly right by us.
That's right. We stopped a long time ago. Nick Leddy with a drive. Save. Lundqvist. And he covers up.
Now it's a good start, Sam. You know, we talked in the pregame about this Islander team missing two key defensemen, and so for the Rangers try and play in the Islander zone, but in the early part of this game, it's been the Islanders getting the puck in the Rangers zone. Nick Leddy has just one goal on the season, but that's a good shot through traffic. Lundqvist able to make a good save and then hold on.
Leddy carrying a big load with Johnny Boychuk out, and now Travis Hamonic missing his third game. This is the sixth game that Boychuk is missing. He is on IR.
Yeah, he's out. He's got a shoulder problem. And for Hamonic, he's got a hairline fracture in his foot. Those are two outstanding defensemen that are not in the lineup for this Islander team. Those are big losses.
Dominic Moore and Casey Cizikas on the face-off. Rangers come out with it. That's Victor Stahlberg. Tanner Glass after it. Boy, what a game Tanner Glass had against the Boston Bruins with 10 hits. Stahlberg with a keep-in. And this Rangers fourth line did an excellent job in that game. Pressure on Brian Strait, number 37, and he's hit by Tanner Glass.
Wow. Was that a hard shoulder? I'm sorry, Sam. This was the only line for the Rangers, that fourth line that stayed together. Everything else was moved. That's how much Alain Vigneault has liked what they've done.
Dylan McIlrath takes a bump from Matt Martin, who's on the ice. McIlrath was out the last 6 games. McIlrath went back at Martin with the stick. He poked him a couple of times. Meanwhile, Kreider left it for Yandel. Back to Chris Kreider. Fires from a sharp angle. Halak makes the save. Tries to stop play, but the puck is still loose.
That referee's in a perfect position.
That's fired in front and blocked and finally cleared out of the zone by Josh Bailey.
Referee was standing right on top of the back of the net, it looked like, and so he was staring down at the puck. So Islanders are forced to ice it, and that's why there was no whistle. He was in great position to see the puck, to know that it was still alive, and to allow the players to keep battling for it.
That was Kevin Pollock. Graham Skilliter is the other referee. Stepan, Megna, and Miller on for the Rangers. Stepan wins it back to Yandel. Yandel moving with the puck. Looks for an opening. The shot got through. A save by Halak.
Clean face-off win by the Islanders, or pardon me, by Derek Stepan against Brock Nelson, who is new at the center ice position lately.
Yandel sends it back in. These two teams played early in December. The Islanders won in a shootout, 2-1. There's Ryan Strome, who broke a long scoring drought. He'd gone 16 games without a goal. Scored a goal in the Islanders' last game against Columbus, a 5-2 win. There's Strome coming in again. Backhander by Tavares goes high. It's a newly constructed line with Grabowski on it. He was on the line with Tavares in the last game as well.
That's the first time they played together this season, was that last game when Grabowski goes over to the wing. They're trying to find wingers to play with John Tavares, and it's been an ongoing issue for a while. There's Tavares just with the backhand. That's how talented he is. You don't see many backhand shots anymore in the league, and he went forehand, backhand, was able to get the shot on Lundqvist.
Brassard wins the face-off. Klein to McDonough. And McDonough drops it back to Rick Nash. Long shot stopped by Halak. Leddy tried to play it. Now Oposo able to move it up to Nielsen. Nielsen's pass taken away by McDonough. Kevin Klein holds. That's deflected into the Islanders zone. Leddy back court. Brassard on him. Around to DeHaan. And DeHaan moves up with it. Lifts it ahead. It deflected off someone on the Rangers bench. Out of play. And the face-off out in center.
A good pace to start this game. Again, we talked about the atmosphere in this building has really been good. You could just hear the buzz has been going on for an hour or so before this game started, and so far it hasn't disappointed. It's been a real fast pace, hard played first 3.5 minutes.
Dominic Moore on the face-off win. Rangers a good start to the game on face-offs. Halak backhands it into the corner, and Thomas Hickey able to clear it out. Stopped there by Dan Boyle. Rangers healthy scratches Oscar Lindberg tonight. Dan Girardi out with the hand injury. Mark Stahl firing to the head, was knocked down. Boyle recovers. Lead to Tanner Glass. Long shot stop. That shot knocked away. That Rangers fourth line of Moore, Glass, and Stolberg. Lead for Ryan Strome. Mark Stahl is back. Looking for Tavares. Saved by Lundqvist. Oh, good play up the ice. What a transition. Lundqvist without a stick. It's back near the end boards as they battle for the puck. Ryan Strome with a pass block and taken away and brought out by Chris Kreider. Kreider races down. Straight is there. Save Halak. Kreider shows his speed. He goes end to end.
After Tavares is not going to get many better chances than that. Beautiful pass from Strome. And Tavares with another good chance. He had chances last game as well and didn't score.
Jesper Fast moving it across. Yandel had it go by him. Recovers. Cizikas trying to take it away. And help from Dylan McElrath. Kreider chips it off the boards.
Penalty coming up. Be against the Islanders, yes.
First penalty of the game. Oh! McElrath got dumped by Matt Martin. McElrath throws the gloves off.
Now he's got to stay calm here. He's going to get a penalty. He's going to get a penalty. See, McElrath, you know, is getting caught up in the emotions of this game. You know, afterwards he bumped into, it was already a power play for the Rangers as Clutterbuck was getting penalized. After that happened, McElrath went and bumped him and then looked up, and there was Matt Martin that leveled McElrath. McElrath got up and dropped the gloves. So prior to that, here's the chip out by the Islanders, and then Tavares with that chance, and Lundqvist just closes everything up. And then here you'll see that the hit from behind by Clutterbuck, that's the penalty. And then later on, McElrath dropped his gloves.
And Martin also got a roughing penalty. So the good news for the Rangers is they get the power play nevertheless. Clutterbuck for interference, McElrath and Martin for roughing at 4:59.
Yeah, Martin did get a pretty good hit on him.
Yes, he did.
It was shoulder to chest. I don't think McElrath saw him or expected it. Oh, this is going to be, Sam, we might not get home till tomorrow. You know that? Brooklyn's going to be fired up tonight.
There you go. Rangers power play 0 for the last 6 games, 0 for 15. And this power play brought to you by Volkswagen. That shot went off the post, I believe.
Yeah, Nash deflected it. Nash got a piece of it off the post.
Rangers with Boyle and McDonough, Zuccarello, Nash, and Brassard. Islanders clear. Islanders second in the league penalty killing.
Yeah, no, their penalty killing has been excellent. It's not a real good formula when your penalty or your power play is struggling against this kind of penalty killing, but the Rangers came close early on.
Here's Dan Boyle, pressured by Cizikas. Nash is in, and it slipped off his stick. Winds it around the boards. Adam Pelech, number 50, on defense for the Islanders. Brassard got it back to Boyle. Now to McDonough with room. He looks, slides it down low, and it was blocked. Nash was screening Halak. Here's Boyle, back to Brassard. Brock Nelson checks in. Boyle leaves it for McDonough. Back to Boyle. Zuccarello with Nash in front. Shot by McDonough. And it's covered up by Halak. With Nash battling Brian Straight.
That's a good-looking power play by the Rangers. Good puck movement. Heads up all the way by Zuccarello. There's the redirection by Nash in front that goes off the post and behind Halak, out the other way. Good setup, good puck movement. Nash gave him a good target where he wanted the puck and was able to get a piece of it. Barely missed. Fraction of an inch.
Islanders penalty killing at 87% for the season. 13 for 13 over the last 3 games. Nielsen with a face-off win. DeHaan sending it around the boards, blocked by Kevin Hayes. Rangers second unit on. Stepan, Kreider, Megna, Yandel, and Hayes. 4 forwards, 1 defenseman. Islanders able to clear. 30 seconds to go on the Rangers power play. .640 gone by here in the first period. Scoreless game. Yandel. Stepan from center fires it wide of the net. Straight plays it around the boards. Stopped by Klein. Yandel cross ice to feed. The shot saved Halak, and he's got the puck. Oh, good puck movement by the Rangers. Hayes had the last shot. Halak made a good stop.
Yeah, and I don't think Hayes got everything on that shot as it went off the backboards, but you're right, Sam. The puck movement on this power play has been excellent for the Rangers. No hesitation, and then here's the end of it. You just see the misfire, and then off the skate, kind of trickles in, and that's an easy play for Halak.
Five seconds to go in the power play. Dominic Moore and Frans Nielsen on the face-off. Stahl and Klein on defense for the Rangers here. Moore wins it. Stahl on the move. Takes the shot, blocked by Nielsen. Oh, he just stepped in front of that shot. Power play is over. That's off the end boards. Lively carom. Rangers had 3 shots on goal on the power play. Stolberg pinned to the boards by Pelech. Off the board, stopped by Klein. Touches it back. Shot by Tanner Glass was blocked. Islanders come out. Cal Clutterbuck. Lundqvist waits for it. Plays it back up the boards to Mark Stahl. Stolberg able to get it out of the zone.
Well, quick change to Tavares line out against the Rangers' 4th line, which I don't think Alain Vigneault minds.
Clutterbuck trying to play it in front. He's chipped over the top and off the glass. Tanner Glass winding it around the boards.
I do think they'd like to get McDonough and Klein on the ice, though, against Tavares.
Boyle with the outlet to Nash. Drops it back to Stolberg. He was stopped by Hickey. Good play by Thomas Hickey. Tavares checked there by Boyle. Ryan Strome keeps it alive for the Islanders. Now Tavares gives it away to Zuccarello. Zuccarello races down against DeHaan. DeHaan takes it out of the play. Zuccarello again. Sets up Kevin Klein. Saved by Halak. The rebound. And Halak got Nash. He stopped him. Oh! Nash had a big chance on the rebound. Zuccarello turning. That's deflected in front by Nick Leddy, who was battling Nash. The puck out of the zone comes all the way back, and the Rangers go to get it.
Well, Halak had been struggling.
Oof.
10 saves here in the first 9 minutes, just under 9 minutes, and Halak has been absolutely great.
Rangers have had the edge in play thus far.
Rick Nash been the best player on the ice. Boys, he had chances.
Around the boards, blocked by Derek Stepan. Good hit along the boards by Pelech. Pelech, the recent Pollock has done a good job.
Yeah, his 7th NHL game.
Yandel. Now Stepan. Kevin Klein comes up slowly. Feeds Keith Yandel, who drives it in. On goal. Trying to fake Halak. Stepan took it away. Good play against Cizikas. Boyle toward the net. And that hit the outside of the net on the deflection.
Yeah, that JT Miller get a piece of that, Sam.
Could
he
be.
was there.
He was in front. Now Yandel. Outlets for Hayes. Backboard is Hickey for the Islanders. Islanders move it up. Cizikas trying to get it to Clutterbuck. Rangers take it back. Boyle fires to Crowder. Winds up with drive, missed the net. Kept in by Jesper Fast. Kuhlman able to clear it out to Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck gets it across to Zidlicky. In front, Clutterbuck save! Oh, great save by Lundqvist. And the Islanders came back with a great chance. And Henrik Lundqvist robs Cal Clutterbuck. Still no score.
What a first period we've got here. I mean, this goaltending on both sides. Now, Halak has been the busier of the two goaltenders. But, boy, this has been an outstanding first period. Here, how about this pass from Brassard? And another chance for Rick Nash. And Halak is able to just stretch with the left leg. Let him get that leg over there, skate against the post. He saves a goal there. And then down the other end, Islanders went a long time without getting a chance, and then they get a beauty. That's Cal Clutterbuck, who tries to beat Lundqvist over the glove, and Lundqvist comes up with a big save. When the Rangers got that power play, Sam, they took the momentum, and all the momentum was on the Rangers' side, so the Islanders didn't have many chances for a while. That Clutterbuck chance was great.
Nelson with a face-off win, but it's out of the zone. Hickey there to play it to one-time Rangers draft pick, Marek Shidlitsky. Josh Bailey gave it away to McDonough. McDonough pressured by Nelson. Bailey is there. Puck played out in front. Stallberg with a good play to get it to Tanner Glass. The dump-in was blocked by Hickey, and Stallberg sends it in. Hickey's been good thus far in this first period for the Islanders. Up the middle, good feed to Nelson. Nelson moves in. Pass across. Was forced by Kevin Klein. Did a good job picking up Brock Nelson.
Yeah, and it started with McDonough. Skated over there, got a stick on Nelson, and then released to take his man, and Nelson couldn't get control of the puck again.
Anders Lee drops it wide of the net. Big rebound cleared away by McDonough. But there have been some lively caroms off the inboards here.
Ooh.
That's fired in.
Attaboy,
John
Johnny.
Giannone.
That's
Attaboy, John.
Well, good reflexes by John.
There you go.
John doesn't need a helmet. He's old school.
Our buddy Keith does, though, because he's got something in front of him, so he's watching the play through a lens. I saw it coming. Right over his head. We're all good.
Yeah.
All good.
It didn't miss by much. Get out of the way, John. Oh, well, you had some protection. Who was that Ranger there on the end of the bench? Was that Chris Kreider?
Somebody who's trying to help John.
Brassard, of course.
John's guardian angel.
Derek Brassard with a quick hands, ready to help out his guy. Dylan McElrath, who was a healthy scratch the last 6 games. Back in the lineup with Dan Girardi out. Halak plays the boards. Stopped by Zuccarello. All the way around to Brassard. Picked up there by Nick Leddy. Yandel's shot was blocked. Islanders break out 3-on-2. Zuccarello gets back to even things up. Now it's 4-on-3. DeHaan shot. Save. Lundqvist still loose. Top of the crease. And it pumps out. It's cleared out of the zone.
Boy, DeHaan made a good play. 3-on-2, and then he turned it into a 4-on-2 by just joining the rush. And Lundqvist with another good save. These teams are finding ways to get chances.
Some real good ones. Stepan coming over. Stahl has it offside. Whistle against the Islanders. 8:05 to go. First period in Brooklyn. Rangers and Islanders, no score. Back in Brooklyn, and now, after dodging flying pucks, here's John Giannone.
I can tell you what, Sam, me and here, Keith as well, these Rangers emotionally attached to this game as you would expect any Ranger-Islander game. A lot of encouragement from the Ranger bench to each other, the head coach as well. What he stressed during that timeout, 2 things. Keep getting pucks to the net like they did, 11 shots on goal in the first 10 minutes, and also get back in the defensive zone quickly. They want to see that. And hey, we saw Matt Martin and Dylan McElrath come together earlier. As Matt Martin was skating past the Ranger bench, one of the Rangers said, "You want no part of that." We'll see if he does.
He doesn't normally back down from anybody, Matt Martin, but those are the games within the game.
JT Miller with the outlet. Jason Megna with a long shot kicked away by Halak. Rebound, Stefan missed it. Miller's shot went off for Brian Straight. Bobrovsky tries to clear. Fired wide by Megna. And pass. Stefan, Tavares' pass comes to Stefan. He fakes. And Halak got it.
Just
went off his stick
lost control. Just lost control. That's a good shift. And again, the matchup Tavares against Stepan in this first period. You'll see it bounce. The puck just bounces off a skate, and that's where Stepan ended up with it. Made a couple of moves, and you just see him as he comes back to his right. Watch the puck stay, and that's where Halak is able to just hold on to it.
He wanted one more move.
You're supposed to say something nice about him, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah. Well, he made a great play.
Well, there you go.
He made a great
You were supposed to say that, though, before he had the scoring chance. His key to scoring a goal tonight is it's up to Sam.
That's it. He wants positive reinforcement. That's lifted deep into the Islanders zone. DeHaan is back for it. Rangers with 13 shots during the first period. It's whistled down, touch with a high stick. Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., Joe, on MSG, a special Giants press conference as the Big Blue introduces their new head coach, Ben McAdoo, live 10:30 a.m. on MSG. Well,
I'm still depressed about the lottery, sorry. I know you would have been here. I'm not sure I would have made it here. But I would have called.
Okay. Yes. You just needed to buy about 1 million more tickets to have a shot. Broussard spun around by Oposo. Who's digging. Boyle is there. Broussard for Nash. Nash tips it ahead, and Zuccarello got it out of the zone.
We haven't even mentioned Kyle Oposo. He leads this team in scoring.
Yeah. Moves in. Rangers broke up the rush. Kuhlman, number 86. Checked by Boyle. Broussard's got the puck.
Sam, it seems like every team has them. Unrestricted free agents come the summer, and decisions to be made by these teams come the trade deadline at the end of February.
Halak leaves it for Hickey.
Oposo is one of those.
Oh, boy. You talk about a guy who'd be in demand. Stolberg pounding Brock Nelson. McElrath looks it around the glass. Knocked down and kept in by Anders Lee. The back pass to the point. Zidlitsky across to Hickey. That's deflected on the way in. Lee trying to play it. Blocked by McElrath. Now it's Brock Nelson. To Hickey for a shot. Save Lundqvist. The rebound at Yandel. Yandel lost his edge. May have been hit by Anders Lee. Zidlitsky's pass blocked by Dominic Moore takes over.
And McElrath did a nice job in front of the net, covering up on that shot and on the rebound, not allowing any of the Islanders to get to the puck.
McElrath has done a good job being patient, staying ready, and now he's stepped in with Girardi out. JT Miller goes all the way against Grabowski. Grabowski stays with him. Help from Kevin Klein for Jason Megna. Fired up the boards out of the zone. McDonough's there.
Sam, I liked what McElrath said the other day when he said, you know what, I've proven to myself that I can play in the league. You have that confidence, it takes you to a different level.
Rangers were offside. No score here in Brooklyn. Rangers and Islanders with 5:05 to go in the first. Spotlight on a couple of centers in tonight's game. Derek Broussard and John Tavares, 15 goals each. See their points at 31 and 30. See the face-off percentage at over 53. Well, Tavares at 53% and Broussard just underneath. Play daily fantasy hockey on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Rangers.
Boy, Broussard, he's really taken it upon himself to score more goals this year, hasn't he, Sam?
Yes, he
because
has.
of injuries, and he's one of their leaders. And he just said, "Listen, I got to shoot the puck more." And when he does, he's a more effective player.
Tavares missed it. Megna after it. DeHaan's pass hit Tavares in the ankle. He gets up slowly, and he's limping to the bench. That shot goes wide. Rangers put the first run step on his route. The net was off the pegs. What a wild sequence. Tavares got hurt, his own man.
Right. And
Jumps the puck
And
in.
so he limped to the bench, and so momentarily the Rangers had the extra man up front. There you see him still in pain as that hit him on the side of the foot. And the Rangers, and with McDonough will end up going to the front. There it is. He hits him right in the foot. Now he's down, he's out. Now the Rangers turn that into a chance, and McDonough takes advantage of that by going to the net. But the net was dislodged before the puck went in.
Brassard face-off wins. Zuccarello gets it back to Yandel. Shot blocked by Nielsen and taken by Oposo. Adam Pelech, Islander defenseman, has gone to the locker room with a cut on his face. So he needs some medical attention. Hickey back and forth. Good pressure from Rick Nash trying to take it away. Nielsen helps out. That stop for a shot went wide by McElrath. Yandel in front. Zuccarello went wide. Out to Yandel. Now McElrath with a wrister that's blocked. McElrath keeps it in. Behind the net, Zuccarello looking for Nash. That was blocked. Good play by Nielsen as they battle for control of the puck. Nash is there against Hickey. Brassard. Hickey checks him. Nick Leddy gets to it. And able to skate it clear. Stopped by Zuccarello. Leddy again puts it in the Ranger zone. 3:35 to go in the first period. That shot saved. Lundqvist as Cizikas was set up beautifully by Kyle Oposo.
Sam, we're going to go back to the Pelech injury. You mentioned him going to the locker room, and here's what happened. The turnover and then the skate of Stepan. You see it? Oh, boy. It's hard to watch. Pelech with the effort. And there you just see him. He catches the skate and was cut. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah. Man,
Skates are so dangerous.
that was frightening. 3:31 to go here in the first period. Both teams have had some quality chances in this period. That was a real good setup from Oposo to Cizikas. Carried in by Kreider. Pass across was behind Kevin Hayes. Back the other way, Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck against Boyle. Pass for Martin. That went off the skate of Jesper Fox.
Oh, good job by Foss. Came back defensively on Matt Martin.
Hayes got it through. Rangers offside. Kreider ahead of the play. 3:08 to go here in the first period. Tuesday night on MSG. What happens when a curse turns into a blessing? Go inside the Rangers 1994 Stanley Cup Final against the Vancouver Canucks on the Garden's Defining Moments, presented by SAP. Tuesday night following the Rangers and Vancouver Canucks on MSG. And Coach Alain Vigneault knows this is an important time. Rangers playing the Islanders, Flyers, and Capitals in 3 straight games on the road. And the Rangers have not been as good on the road this season as they were last season. Good takeaway by McElrath.
Well, franchise record, 28 wins on the road last season. The season before that, 25.
Right now, they only 1 road win in the last 10 road games.
No, they need to start winning some road games for sure.
In deep. Played around the boards for Anders Lee. Brock Nelson looks at it. Yandel staying with Lee. Magna gains possession, plays it back to McElrath. McElrath fires it ahead. It was blocked at the line by Leddy. Off the boards for Grabowski. McElrath steps in front of him.
I'll tell you what, I like the period McElrath has had. For someone that hasn't played in 6 games, comes back into this environment against a real rival, and he's had a solid first period.
Leddy carries, dumps it down the boards for Grabowski. McDonough was there. Grabowski able to play for Tavares, whose back line seems to be okay. Rangers come away with the puck. Zuccarello dumps it on goal, blocked by Halak, and he covers up, gets a snow shower from Zuccarello, and Tavares goes right at Zuccarello. took exception to that snow shower.
Well, you know what? It was a bouncing, rolling puck. Zuccarello did the right thing. You got to keep going there until the goaltenders got it. And you'll see it. He had a little trouble, and then that's when Zuccarello, I don't think, Zuccarello's not the type of player that does that type of thing. And the snow shower missed him anyway, most of it. But it's Islanders Rangers, so you get a chance to make some sort of a statement, you do it. There's Jack Capuano, who just surpassed the 400 games mark as a head coach in the National Hockey League, all with the New York Islanders.
188 wins, second most in Islanders history. Face-off win, Brassard. McDonough with a wrister that was blocked by Nielsen. Nielsen stick handling across the line. Islanders offside as he stick handled at the line. Kuhlman went in ahead of the play. Saturday on MSG, Rangers 3-game road trip continues as they take on the Flyers in Philadelphia. Live coverage begins at 12:30 with Visa. Rangers game night with Bill Pito. Then it's the Rangers and the Flyers Saturday on MSG. And it's Moms Weekend. There are 16 Rangers moms here tonight. 19 will be at the games in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C.
That'll be fun.
Wow.
Hope they have fun. I'm sure they will.
Watching their sons play.
Well, I think the moms always have more fun than the dads, don't they?
I think the dads take it too seriously. The moms want to have a good time being with their sons. Grabowski shot fought off by Lundqvist. Way up in the air. Batted down by Foss. That shot by straight deflection in the corner. Grabowski's there. Hayes on him. Under a minute to go in the first period. Scoreless game. Nick Leddy pressured by Kreider. Able to get it out to Ryan Strome. 3 Rangers there. Strome for Tavares. Offside whistled on the play. 48.7 seconds remaining here in the first period.
You know, we heard John give a report earlier about how Alain Vigneault was telling his players come back and play defense, after you get those scoring chances. That's what we're seeing here lately is the Rangers now, their forwards are coming back, and so the Rangers defense can stand up. Meanwhile, there's puck to the mouth. Nick Leddy as that puck gets deflected. That's all the Islanders need is another defenseman go down.
McDonough plays it across to Kevin Klein. McDonough's pass chipped ahead by Tanner Glass. Glass with pressure on Hickey along the boards. And a penalty coming up. First penalty
Dominic Moore.
For the Rangers to Dominic Moore for holding.
Dominic Moore, instead of, he kind of decided halfway through that he wasn't going to go for the big hit, that he was going to try and go around the player. And by doing that, he made a little sideways move, but he had one hand on the stick, and you'll see his left arm, watch it right there, tries to avoid the hit by DeHaan and get after the puck. And catches him with the left arm. DeHaan goes down. The Rangers short-handed.
19:28, the time of the penalty to Dominic Moore for holding. Islanders' first power play, and they have struggled on the power play, which is very much unlike the Islanders. Here's Leddy back to the puck. Eric Stepan and Rick Nash on with McDonough and Klein off the corner boards. Oposo trying to play it in front of his block. Nash takes it, fires it out.
These boards are lively here, aren't they,
Yes.
Sam? I mean, both ends. That puck really comes off the end boards and forces the goaltenders to be alert.
Nielsen with a drive that was tipped wide of the net. The power play for the Islanders carries over into the second period. Good paced first period. Goaltenders were outstanding.
Yeah, I thought so. The Rangers came out and did what they had to do. McElrath, as I mentioned, his first game in a while, really played a solid first period. And I thought Halak was a question mark coming in because he coming off 2 games where he hadn't been very good since he was injured. But in this first period, he showed that he was ready to go. Good first period by both teams.
Rangers head off. No score in the game. Coming up, the Delta Intermission Report. John Giannone rejoins us. Victor Stahlberg will be his special guest. Back in the studio in Manhattan, Bill Pito has the Audi MSG 150. Ron Duguay and Steve Valiquette have highlights and analysis all coming up on the Delta Intermission Report. Islanders Rangers, good battle for second place right now in the Metropolitan Division. End of one fast-paced first period, no score. We are back in Brooklyn getting set for the second period. Rangers and Islanders. Thursday night hockey is brought to you by Jeep, the most awarded SUV brand ever. One thing you know, wherever the Rangers go, there are lots of Rangers fans, and there are lots of them here at the Barclays Center. It does not go unnoticed by the players and the Rangers coaching staff. Head coach Alain Vigneault made mention of it yesterday.
The cult of the New York Rangers, when we go anywhere we go, it's phenomenal. And I come from two great organizations, Montreal and Vancouver, where we had an unreal following, but it is nothing compared to the New York Rangers fans. Everywhere we go, it's unbelievable the support that we get. Fans there with the jersey, it's something that you have to really experience to understand how powerful it is.
This is his third year, and he's felt that power of the Ranger fans everywhere we go, Joe.
And, you know, it doesn't matter. South Florida, Southern California, all over. They're all over the place, which is great.
Second period begins with the Islanders on the power play. Dominic Moore in the penalty box. He's called for holding. Adam Pelech is back on the bench for the Islanders after getting medical attention for that cut. And here we go. Nick Leddy leads John Tavares. Rangers have Nash and Stepan with McDonough and Klein. Tavares battling Klein. Anders Lee moves it ahead for Frans Nielsen. That goes by Tavares to Kyle Okposo. Okposo pressured by Nash. Gave it away to Klein. Nash tried to get it to Stepan. Went by him, and Halak goes to get it. The boards to Leddy. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Okposo shoots. Save by Lundqvist. The rebound played by Grabowski. Up to Josh Bailey. Grabowski stopped by McElrath as he was falling down. McElrath able to clear it out, lift it out of the zone.
Real good effort there, Sam. And again, McElrath out killing a penalty gives you an idea how he played in the first period. A lot of confidence from the coaches in his game.
Played deep. Bailey lifts it wide and around the boards. Kept in deep by Strome. Around for Brock Nelson. Final seconds of the power play. Off the stick of Bailey out of the zone. Zidlitsky's there. Rangers do a good job killing it off. One shot on goal for the Islanders. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play in the game. No score. Early second period. Stahl pressured by Nelson. Rangers able to move it up. Nash puts it in the Islanders zone. Thomas Hickey off the boards and ahead for Brock Nelson.
Real good job on the penalty kill. That chance came from Okposo on the hard rising wrist shot. Lundqvist able to use his right shoulder to make the save.
Brassard, good pass across to Nash. Nash is checked by Pelech. Back on the ice. Good job by Adam Pelech. Played Nash strong. Matt Martin to Pelech. He moves in on Yandel. Trying to get a shot off. Another shot was blocked as Clutterbuck came in. Cizikas lost it to Zuccarello.
And a good defensive play by Brassard coming back, and then Martin takes a run at Zuccarello. And Zuccarello stays right with him. You can't intimidate him. You can't.
It's an interesting matchup. Calvin DeHaan across to Brian Strait. Strait puts it in the corner. Yandel back for it against Strome. Tavares up the boards to Leddy. And it was out of the zone. Whistle down offside. Or too many men on the ice.
Yeah, penalty. Because he did keep that in the zone. And so too many men, I believe. Yeah, so the Rangers, after doing a good job killing the penalty, they'll get a power play of their own. Puck on the right-hand side. There you see both players. These two here make it 6 on the ice. Oh, it was close. That was really close.
Straight going off.
You could argue that one was
could have let it go.
Could have gone either way. Yeah.
This power play brought to you by Volkswagen. Rangers second, too many men on the ice at 2:41. Shot by Hayes, save Halak, and he holds it. John Tavares is serving the penalty. Halak with a good start to this game.
Yeah, he really has. He's been solid. There's that shot that goes through, and Halak able to do a nice job. Faceoff will come on the other side this time.
Stepan, Kreider, and Hayes, Megna, and Yandel for the Rangers. Yandel shot blocked away by Hickey. Kreider goes to the boards against Hickey. Stepan trying to play it back. And Hayes goes to get it. Leaves it for Keith Yandel. Back to Hayes. Around it goes. Stepan after. Bumps with DeHaan. Yandel stops it. Stepan out to Kevin Hayes for a drive. Save. Halak. The rebound. Pass to Stepan. Now to Kreider. And it stayed out.
I think it hit the post, Sam.
Okay.
Boy, what a chance.
Yandel hits the outside of the net. Driven up the boards by Hickey. Rangers kept passing side to side, waiting for that opening.
Both players had a, looked like, to me anyway, from our vantage point, looked to me like they each had a foot on the short side. And Kreider with even a better chance because Halak had to move from his right to his left, and Kreider was on his right side.
Zuccarello moves in. The puck was knocked away by Straight. Recovered here by Brassard. Out to McDonough. McDonough and Boyle. That goes off the glass. Blocked by Brassard. Brassard, Nash, and Zuccarello up front. Zuccarello's got it. Pelech forced him back. Brassard to Zuccarello. To Brassard. Now Boyle to McDonough. Cross to Brassard. Down to Boyle. To Zuccarello. Now McDonough got underneath it.
Yeah, puck bouncing and rolling.
Brassard sets up McDonough again. Save Halak. And Nash in front. Zuccarello. Final seconds of the Rangers power play. Puck taken away by Kuhlman. Clears it out. Team's back at full strength. Rangers had 4 shots on goal on that power play.
Tavares served the penalty and now back on the ice.
No score in the game. 5 minutes gone by, second period. DeHaan pressured by Tanner Glass. Out of the zone, stopped by Klein.
You know, Sam, that surprises me that they used Tavares to serve the penalties. Now, what if the Rangers take a penalty and it's a 4-on-3? Don't you want Tavares available?
Right. I agree with you. But a giveaway to Moore. He fakes and he tried to feed Tanner Glass, who was tricked by Ryan Strome.
Overpassing, take the shot.
Grabowski back the other way with Tavares, offside. 5:24 gone by in the third, in the second.
Rangers had chances, especially Chris Kreider. This is our Buick RoboCam. And you'll see the passing in front. Kreider is on the right side. One pass, comes right back to him. Look at that. Right off the post. I mean, he had the whole net. I thought he had a foot. Pardon me, he had 3.
There it is.
Vertically, and then 6 above him.
The RoboCam replay was brought to you by the new Buick. Buick, your kind of luxury. McElrath back for it. Double teamed, and it's taken away. Then Rangers able to clear it out. Anders Lee offside. Nelson still in the zone. Let's check the Kia Conference standings. Take a look at how close things are in the Eastern Conference. Metropolitan Division, big lead for Washington, but then right behind, Rangers and Islanders. Across to the other division, Florida with a lead. Detroit and Montreal close. Then look at those teams battling for the wild card, Joe.
Yeah.
We got 7 teams separated by 3 points.
Flyers now have won 4 in a row.
And 6 straight at home.
Yeah, they're...
Lundqvist made a save.
That'll be difficult, and of course, then the back-to-back. You got Washington in Washington on Sunday.
Halak decided to stop play with Jason Megna bearing down on him. The officials blow the whistle, settle things down. 6:04 gone by. Second period, still no score. Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. We're in the second half of the season. 40 games remaining, including this one tonight. 19 of those games against Metropolitan Division opponents for the Rangers. 4 against Pittsburgh, 3 against the Islanders, including tonight. 3 against New Jersey and Philadelphia, 2 against Washington, Carolina, and Columbus.
Hard to believe, Sam, isn't it, that the Rangers have not played Pittsburgh yet?
Right.
I mean, and they don't play them until February. You're going to get into next month before that happens, and it's too bad because, you know what, Pittsburgh's starting to play a little better.
Yes, they are.
You figured at some point, right, they had to play better than what they were, even though their goaltender's been good all season.
Battle here, Rangers and Islanders. 2 games to be played at Madison Square Garden later on in the season. Yandle fires up the middle, blocked there by Pelech. Kreider got a piece of it. Islanders take it back. McElrath and Yandle off the boards. Icing on the Rangers as the pass misconnection went all the way down. Play alongside the Rangers on March 1st. It's casino night. It's one of the biggest nights of the year, on or off the ice for the Rangers. This one is off the ice because all the net proceeds benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation. All the Rangers players will be there. They'll be playing cards with you. They'll be playing all kinds of games. Visit NewYorkRangers.com to purchase your tickets today. March 1st, casino night.
And bring your checkbooks because Sam is handling the live auction.
And we will get some money for some great items.
Boy, nice. Another good play by McElrath, taking his own man down in front.
Set up for Leddy. Save! Oh, big shot by Nick Leddy. Tough save by Henrik Lundqvist. Leddy keeps it in again, and it's forced out of the zone. Good effort by Jesper Fast. Kreider is there to try and lift it ahead. Now it's McElrath and Yandle. Rangers 20 shots, Islanders 14. Rangers 2 power plays, Islanders 1. No score in the game as Nielsen works it ahead to Grabowski. Took a hit from Nash. McDonough chops at it. It's out of the zone. DeHaan. Brassard on the forecheck. DeHaan with the outlet to Grabowski. Off his stick. Nash back to get it. Kept in by the Islanders. Knocked away by McDonough. Heads up play against Grabowski. Hickey pass across for Zidlitsky. And a good play by Brassard as he was tied up with Zidlitsky. Kicked it out of the zone. Hickey trying to get it ahead for Strome. Rangers blocked it at the line. That goes off Tanner Glass. Tanner Glass was credited with 5 hits in the first period.
5 of the 13 for the Rangers. Rangers had also 30 attempts as far as shots to 15 for the Islanders.
There's Zuccarello with a chance. The save. Rebound was blocked. I don't think it got through. May have hit Grabowski.
It was. What a play.
Out in front. Zidlitsky's got it. And up ahead, Grabowski. Lead to Tavares. Moves in on Boyle. Back pass Edersley. And that went high on the shot. Good chance as the Islanders move the puck well into the offensive zone. Adam Pelech. That's a deflection by Lee and a good save by Lundqvist. Lee in good position in front. Straight. And again, Lee just missed the deflection in front. Oh, he's a big man. Tough to handle. Lee after the puck against Stolberg.
He's a Notre Dame product.
He learned his lessons well. Nelson gets it back to Straight. Straight with a wrist shot wide off the end boards. Mark Stahl went down hard. He's hurting. He's bent over in pain. Staying on. Can't get off right now. With the puck deep in the Ranger zone. Big pressure by the Islanders.
He's having trouble handling the puck.
Islanders putting the pressure on. Made a change. Good job by Moore to take it away. And though he was hit by Matt Martin, got it out of the zone. Stahl still unable to get to the bench. Matt Martin moves in. Shot wide.
Best sustained pressure of the game for either team.
Lee to step up. Stepan trying to lead JT Miller. Miller's been the Rangers' leading point getter on the road this season with 14. Megna back to McElrath. Off the end board, Stepan. Pass deflected in front. Islanders take it. Clutterbuck. McElrath with a hit on Clutterbuck. Ranger fans roar their approval on that one. Stepan lifts it out. Past the midway point, second period. No score in the game. Off the stick of Megna. And Levy has got it. Megna on him. And now the fans with a dueling chants. Let's go Islanders. Let's go Rangers. Sellout crowd. Over 15,000 here. That's centered in front off the stick of Okposo. And the Rangers head the other way. Hayes to Kreider. Kreider against DeHaan, who deflected the shot. Hayes behind the net. Now to Jesper Fast. Out to Kevin Klein. McDonough. Wrist shot. Blocked away by DeHaan. Jesper Fast with the puck. Winds it deep to Hayes. DeHaan on him. Hayes trying to sweep it in front. Halak got a piece of it, and it's all the way back into the Ranger zone. 8.5 minutes to go here in the second.
Not much play between the two blue lines, huh, Sam? Very little in this game.
Brassard. Tipped ahead by Nash. Hickey back for it. Zuccarello on him quickly around the boards by Brassard. All the way down. This will be an icing on the Islanders.
Well, the Rangers were able to survive. That was a good minute and a half or two of the Islanders being able to change lines and then come out and put pressure on. Mark Stahl was hurt. Now nice to see him back out there. And then how about Grabowski? Look at this chance here. And Tanner Glass has a chance and Grabowski goes down. And meanwhile, there's the hit by McElrath. And I'll tell you what, Cal Clutterbuck had his head up and was watching that all the way and was able to at least avoid part of it.
Hickey able to clear it out of the zone. Yandel plays it the other way to Zuccarello. Lead to Nash. Nash against Nelson. Two big men battling. Nelson got a piece of Nash. Zuccarello trying to center. Was blocked by Hickey. But Hickey's had a good game for the Islanders. Yandel. That was deflected away. Chance at front save off Brassard. Kept in by Dan Boyle. That puck coming all the way down. Another icing on the Islanders. 7:40 to go here in the second period. Saturday on MSG. Joined, look at this lineup. Bill Pito, Steve Valiquette, E.J. Raddick, Johnny Mack, Johnny McLean. For all the latest Rangers insight, Devils insight, Islanders insight. Go around the NHL and all new Hockey Night Live. Presented by Geico. 11:30 p.m. on MSG. Saturday night.
Yeah, opportunity for the Rangers here. Those are consecutive icings by the Islanders.
Face-off win by Stepan. Miller to Stepan. Shot blocked. Cleared the side. Comes to McDonough. Save. Halak. Megna against Hickey. Out to Stepan. Shot wide. Miller gets to it. Behind the net, Megna. Out to Kevin Klein. Stepan in the corner. Past Miller. And Josh Bailey able to take it for the Islanders. Anders Lee with a long drive, bangs off the glass. McDonough back for it. Long pass the other way to Stepan.
All five Islander players were able to change with that dump in.
Driven hard around the boards by Pelech out to center. Stahl got a piece of it. Grabowski breaks in. Check from behind. The pass goes behind Strome.
Rangers have been real good in front of their net. Now, they've had their issues this season, but in the first period and a half here, they've been real strong.
Tanner Glass trying to move it. And in our talks with the coaches, Joe, yesterday at practice, talking about the improvement in the defensive play, it's been protecting the net, falling, dropping back. There's a save and another save. Oh, great save off Strome by Lundqvist on the rebound. 2-on-1 the other way. Stolberg with Tanner Glass. Stolberg missed the net. All the way out. Picked up by Grabowski. Moves in with Tavares. Tavares for Strome. Back to Tavares. Shot high. Around the boards. Kreider able to lift it out. To Jesper Fast. Now Yandel behind the back to Boyle. Both defensemen in deep. Now Yandel's pass broken up by Tavares. Yandel again for Kreider. Kreider against DeHaan. In front, shot blocked. DeHaan got in front of that shot by Kevin Hayes. Oposo tries to get around Boyle. Yandel came over to help out. DeHaan's pass deflected in front. Yandel gets it out of the zone. 5.5 minutes to go in the second.
Boy, the Islanders have done a nice job blocking shots in front of their goaltender. Halak has played really well in goal for the Islanders, but he's also gotten some help.
Here's Franz Nielsen against McDonough. Save! Oh, great save by Lundqvist. He's made some beauties the last couple of minutes. McDonough checked along the boards by Zidlitsky. DeHaan moves it. They gave it away to Brassard. Back to Klein. Down to Brassard. Klein trying to leave it for McDonough. Thought McDonough was there to take the puck, but they were crisscrossing. Oposo shoots. Saved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. 4:53 to go, second period. Both goaltenders outstanding. Henrik Lundqvist makes one good save and then another. For the Cadillac trivia question, and if you know this, you are good. Who scored the Rangers' first and last goals at Nassau Coliseum?
Here's a hint, Sam.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
Brian Leach?
What a long career.
Oh, man. Wow. That's Adam Pelech, who got some medical attention for that gash when the Derek Stepan skate caught him accidentally.
Yeah. He made a heck of a play diving to try and prevent Derek Stepan from getting a shot.
Shots are even at 21 apiece. Rangers come away with it. Miller clears it out of the zone. Islanders, you mentioned this before, Joe, 17 blocked shots.
Yeah, they've been good. Rangers have generated more scoring chances, more opportunities.
Zidlitsky pressured by Miller. Pass across. Oposo. Kevin Klein in front of him. Kuhlman battling McDonough. McDonough went down on the hit by Kuhlman. The puck out of the zone. Miller able to play it into the Islanders' end. 4:15 to go in the second. Zidlitsky went down.
He wanted to call, but he actually stepped in front of JT Miller.
Boyle fires it hard off the boards. And it turns into a Rangers icing with 4 minutes to go here in the second. Let's go, Rangers Town. Limited individual tickets are still available for great seats. Be sure to visit NewYorkRangers.com. Rangers' next home game will be against the Vancouver Canucks.
Quick change. Tavares comes right back on the ice.
Tavares against Kevin Hayes.
A nice job by Kevin Hayes getting a tie and then allowing Foss to step in and help out.
Along the boards, taken back by the Islanders. Tavares got it to Strome into the Rangers' end. Stahl back for it. Spin away from Strome.
Boy, I think Kevin Hayes just hammered Grabowski with a hit inside the Islanders' blue line.
DeHaan tipped back by Stolberg and deflected out of play with 3:29 to go here in the second period. JT Miller likes to play a physical game there, involved with Zidlitsky, and that shove knocked him down. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Saturday afternoon on MSG, 1 p.m. Rangers at the Flyers. Sunday at 5 p.m. on MSG, Rangers at the Washington Capitals. Tuesday night on MSG, 7 p.m. Rangers home against the Vancouver Canucks. All those games preceded 1/2 hour by Visa Rangers game night.
Of course, it was the Canucks that ended the Florida Panthers' 12-game winning streak. And Florida got hammered last night in Calgary 6-0. They've now lost 2 in a row. Gerard Gallant, by the way, our condolences to him.
Yes.
He was not at that game. He was attending the funeral of his mother back in Prince Edward Island.
Taken by Tanner Glass, drops it back to McDonough. Kevin Klein fires in. Tipped ahead by Straight. Rangers get there. The shot save. Halak on the shot by McDonough. Pelech moved it up the boards, took a hit from Stolberg. Rangers good work along the boards. That's the fourth line in there with Moore, Glass, and Stolberg. Takeaway. McDonough moves down. His shot save. He didn't get it all. He was partially blocked by Pelech. McDonough again. Pelech on him. Stolberg checked there by Straight. Pelech went down, gets up, battling McDonough. Stolberg keeping it alive. Islanders able to move it. And Grabowski clearing it out. Rangers have it back. Dan Boyle comes across with Stahl. The pass through to Brassard. Brassard looks. Fired in front. Nash looking for it. Zuccarello to Brassard. That shot blocked and covered up. Deflected into the crease and Halak diving on top. Rangers all around the net, but able to get some clean shots through.
Sam, it continues to be a block fest for the New York Islanders. Boy, have they created some chances, the Rangers. Here's one that gets through, and there's another. Watch it hit the skate. Here's the one blocked there as, I believe that was, Straight that ended up blocking that one and didn't get through. Here it is again. What a chance for Brassard, and that one never got through to Halak, but eventually he finds it and holds on.
2:17 to go in the second. Face-off win by Nelson, taken back by Zuccarello. Now Anders Lee with Nash all over him. Lee lifts it out for Nelson. Boyle. And Brassard takes it. Almost got tripped up. He leads Nash. Nash moves in on DeHaan. Spins. Backhander goes wide. Around the boards to Yandel for a drive. Save. Halaki's got it. .151 to go in the second.
Well, the Rangers have been credited with 22 shots on goal, but they've had many, many more opportunities. How about this one? Step on in the first period. That's where Pelech got hurt. Later on, Chris Kreider, look at that yawning net, and he misses, hits the post. And then this play by Grabowski after Tanner Glass has a chance to put it in on the rebound, and Grabowski with a good block.
Shots on goal 24, missed 12, blocked 18. 54 attempts by the Rangers.
That's 24 in this period. After having 30 in period number one. But I know you knew the match.
Yes. Clutterbuck moves in and got one on goal. It was stopped by Lundqvist. Miller runs into the referee. And played it across, but gave it away to Hickey, who was falling down as he shot wide. Miller checked Cizikas. Martin missed it. Megna falls down, plays it into the Islanders' zone. Minute 15 to go, second period. Hickey, long pass ahead, was tipped by Cizikas, but stopped at the line by Stahl. Here comes Okposo. Double team, good play by Hayes. Around the boards. Fast. Under a minute to go in the second period. Boyle reverses to Stahl. That's Franz Nielsen on the forecheck for the Islanders. Fast. Kreider to Hayes. Hayes hits and score! Mark Stahl celebrates his birthday the next day with a goal. Rangers lead it 1-0.
You know, Mark Stahl was hit hard by Martin, and then Martin left the ice, changed. Stahl ended up with the puck in his own zone, made an initial pass to get everybody out, and then here's where the forwards do the rest. And Mark Stahl just follows it up, keeps going. What a pass. A little turnaround effort by Kevin Hayes, and Mark Stahl had his stick on the ice, strong on the stick, redirects it in, and the Rangers, with all those chances, finally get one.
And you said he was old. Look at him fly. Look at him fly down the ice.
That's a good point by you.
Mark Stahl's second goal of the season gives the Rangers a 1-0 lead here in the last minute. And they check to make sure it's a good goal. That is confirmed. And we're ready to play on.
Boy, the spin around move. Beautiful redirection by Mark Stahl.
1-0 Rangers. Nick Leddy sends it in. Lundqvist. McDonough around to McElrath, who lifts it out of the zone. Nice play by Zuccarello.
Fourth line right back on the ice for the Islanders. They were out there, came off the ice. Now the Rangers scored, and they put that line out there.
That pass got through to Clutterbuck. Back for Matt Martin, and shot blocked. Sliding across McElrath. Brassard comes out with it.
And now McElrath and Martin.
Behind the play, they're squaring off, and there they go.
There they go.
With time winding down and the linesmen get in between them. The period coming to an end. Fans don't like it. Martin yells at the referee.
Well, you know what happened, Sam, is that McElrath tripped Martin. Might have got away with one. And then when Martin got back up, he cross-checked. Gave McElrath a little cross-check before they dropped their gloves. Now, Glass is involved, as is Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck now having words with Zuccarello. This is all going on down the other end as we see the Islander player walk off. There's the trip behind the play. Nothing called, so Martin gets back up. There's the kind of a half-hearted cross-check, and then they want to go at it. But again, it's right at the end of the period. Linesmen were already there. If they can prevent a fight, generally they will.
No. They've been raring to go since early in this game.
No, that's the kind of game it's been. Again, it's Rangers Islanders, so those types of things happen.
Two minutes each on sportsmanlike conduct at 19:58.
Clutterbuck now having words with the Rangers bench. He's all the way over to the in front of John Giannone, who's getting an earful, having a discussion. Yandel steps over.
So the teams will...
Yep.
Well, let's check in with John. John, what's going on down there?
Well, I'll tell you this, guys. The guy who Cal Clutterbuck is focusing on now is the Rangers trainer, Jim Ramsey. And that's getting a whole lot of laughs. And now Tanner Glass is making the chicken sign and noises and such like that. So, yeah, there's been a lot of that going back and forth. Clutterbuck said something about Tanner Glass earning his NHL salary and all that kind of stuff you'd expect to hear in Rangers Islanders. It's fun.
That shot, Joe, the Islanders had only 4 players on the ice, and the Rangers had 5 skaters on. It should be 4 against 4. And
You try to take every advantage you can, Sam.
yeah, I can't believe the officials didn't notice it.
Or was it offsetting and the Islanders were just short a man?
Oh, I see.
think it
I'm
was
sorry. The Rangers pulled the goaltender.
Oh, I got you.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
I apologize.
We got all kinds of stuff going on here.
Wow. Well, what a game.
Yeah.
End of 2. Rangers have a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Rangers continue to get more scoring chances and shooting opportunities. The Islanders had that 2-minute span in the second period where they really put pressure on it. Henrik Lundqvist came up with big saves, but the Rangers defensively have really been good. No second chance opportunities, a lot of good defensive plays in front of their own net. And the Islanders have blocked a lot of shots, but Mark Stahl find a way to score one. The young Mark Stahl.
Rangers 17-1-2 when they score the first goal of the game. Coming up, New York Lottery intermission report. John Giannone is back with us, and his special guest will be Rangers defenseman Dan Boyle. Bill Pito with the Audi MSG 150 at the MSG studio, and a look at Alex Ovechkin playing Powerball. Ron Duguay and Steve Valiquette have second period highlights and analysis, all coming up on the New York Lottery intermission report. Quite a game here in Brooklyn. Rangers and Islanders battling through 2 periods. Rangers grab a 1-0 lead late in the second. Getting set for the start of the third period. Rangers and Islanders. Thursday Night Hockey is brought to you by Jeep, the most awarded SUV brand ever. Rangers take a 1-0 lead into the third. Joe, let's take a look at the goal scored by Mark Stahl.
Well, you know what? Mark Stahl had just taken a big hit from Martin, and here he is in his own zone with the puck. And he's just going to move it and then just go right up the ice. That's what the coach says. Move the puck and then join the rush. And here he comes. Just keeps going. Rangers with a couple of nice little passes. Mark Stahl doesn't slow down. Frans Nielsen comes all the way back. Thinks he has him here, but look how strong Stahl is on his stick. Puts his stick on the ice, leans on it, and that pass from Kevin Hayes right on the tape with his stick and into the net for a 1-0 lead.
That from our Volvo Telestrator. Let's go to John Giannone with the coach's report. John.
Yeah, Sam, I talked to associate coach Scott Arniel. He said, I like a lot of what we've done so far. We put a lot of pressure on a D that's missing some key people. So that was focusing on the pregame plan. He said, what I want to see us focus a little more on is the neutral zone. In the first period, they were getting guys behind us. That led to a couple odd man rushes. I want to see us pay attention as much what's behind us in the neutral zone as what's in front of us. On what Dan Boyle said between periods about scoring that second goal, he said, we're not going to throw our structure out the window. Everything we created so far has come off our good structure, so we're going to maintain that in the third period. But as they take more chances, meaning the Islanders, the Rangers will then press for a second.
Thanks, John. Underway third period. Team skating 4 aside. Zidlitsky takes it deep against Kevin Klein. Klein got tripped up accidentally, went down. Hickey's got the puck. Rangers with Nash and Stepan. Here is Tavares, saved by Lundqvist. Oh, John Tavares found himself deep, facing Henrik Lundqvist, and Lundqvist stopped him.
Well, and Klein wanted a penalty, and he's got a good beef with the referee. As watch Klein 8 get taken down by Zidlitsky. It was actually happened before that, but they get back into play and it turns into this scoring chance. And then after that save, you see Klein, he just looks at the referee and says, how about that? I got tripped down by Zidlitsky and no call. But John Tavares, you talk about frustration. Remember, he lost the scoring title last season by 1 point to Jamie Benn when Jamie Benn had 4 points on the final day of the season.
Mark Stahl, who went 35 games without a goal before scoring at 19:14 of the second period. The official scoring is Stahl is second from Hayes and Kreider at 19:14. That shot went wide by Frans Nielsen, racing for the puck to Hahn in front of Zuccarello. 50 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Rangers with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Mark Stahl's goal. Kevin Hayes is on with Chris Kreider, Stahl, and Klein. Kevin DeHaan turns, feeds Nick Leddy. Now it's Grabowski. Stahl on him. Klein, nice move. Up the boards to Kevin Hayes. Hayes pressured from behind by Brock Nelson. Nelson with a good play, and then Hayes took it back. Islander fans wanted to call. Nelson scores! Brock Nelson is the hot scorer for the Islanders, and he ties the game early in the third.
Yeah, Kevin Hayes has the puck here, but he turns it over to Nelson. And then he'll get another chance here, and he kind of throws it in a tough area, and it ends up on the stick of Nelson, who puts it in for an unassisted goal. That's a tough shift for Kevin Hayes. Then he screens his goaltender. Boy, oh boy, everything went wrong for Kevin Hayes in the span of about 10 seconds.
Brock Nelson with his 5th goal in the last 4 games, 9th goal in the last 13. Here's Yandel in deep with a shot. Played there by Straight, up ahead to Matt Martin. So the Islanders quickly tie the game. Kellick backhanding it wide, big rebound, and Lundqvist with the reaction to stop it and play it away from the crease.
Now John's report. Boy, oh boy, was that on the mark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About the neutral zone and not turning the puck over in the neutral zone and be careful early. Well, that turnover in the neutral zone ends up in their net. And now there's more life in the building on the Islander side.
Halak stops it behind, around the boards. Brock Nelson, who leads the Islanders in goals, gets his 18th of the season. Here's DeHaan. He had a man in front. Oposo couldn't get it to him. That shot by Nielsen blocked. Islanders with strong early pressure here in the third. That shot sticked aside by Lundqvist. Kuhlman took the shot. Kept in by Oposo. Broussard was able to get it away from him. Kuhlman battling Stahl. Nelson gets his 18th unassisted at 1:53. Oposo put it in front, and Lundqvist dives on top to stop play. And along the boards, Kreider involved.
Nelson jabbed his stick in after Lundqvist put his hand over the puck. And so McElrath went straight to Nelson.
Sorry, McElrath. My mistake.
Yeah, he saw that. He just went right over to Nelson right away. And we've seen some of that. They've let most of it go in this game, but not this one.
So the Islanders will get a power play after tying the game now at 3:23.
See, now McElrath is thinking, well, wait a second. In the first period, you saw Tavares come up and give Zuccarello a shot after he stopped. And so McElrath with the early penalty in this third period, and the Islanders with a power play chance.
Their second of the game. They're 0 for 1. Set up to Tavares. Saved by Lundqvist. Fost taken down. McDonough's got the puck. McDonough and Klein, Fost and Moore for the Rangers. Moore trying to break through, and a good recovery by Frans Nielsen.
And by Letty. Boy, can he skate.
McDonough has it again. In deep. Letty tried to take it away. Fost all the way back into the Ranger zone. Kevin Klein gets to it. Fires around the boards. Stopped by Tavares. Feed to Oposo. Oposo forced back by Stahl. Stahl and Klein on with Stepan and Nash. Bailey to Letty. Stepan on him. Oposo. Now Tavares. Put it in front. He scored. Nick Letty on the setup from Tavares. The Islanders score on the power play, and 2 early goals in the third have given the Islanders a 2-1 lead.
Nick Letty had gone games and games and games without scoring until recently. That's his second on the power play. Letty was out there for a long shift. At one point, he thought about leaving, and there he is. Boy, the timing is real good. And Tavares with the beautiful setup. Letty moved in just at the right time and wasted no time. A quick release just inside the far post. And the Islanders have come back with 2 quick ones to take the lead.
So this is the night for defensemen who don't normally score goals
Sure
to
is.
score goals. Stahl for the Rangers, now Letty for the Islanders. Letty has scored 2 goals in the last 6 games. And there's a big save by Lundqvist to Rod Straight. Oh man, that could have been disaster. Penalty upcoming on Oposo. Rangers get a power play.
What a save by Lundqvist. Remember that one. The defensemen are getting chances in this game. And Straight ends up with this one. Long bounce and then this save. Beautiful save, Lundqvist, to keep it a 1-goal game. And that then leads to this penalty. The hook by Oposo. He didn't like it. And the Rangers get a chance to tie it on the power play.
Wow. Islanders with the goal by Brock Nelson at 1:53. Racing down, short-handed. There's Clutterbuck.
He's got 2 short-handed goals on the season.
Yandel, Hayes, Kreider, Magna, and Stepan for the Rangers power play. Oposo hooking at 4:46. Rangers' 3rd power play of the game. And this building has gotten real loud. Stepan winds it around for Kreider. The hot on him. It goes back to Yandel. Deep to Stepan. Out to Yandel. Yandel draws Nielsen to him. Feeds Magna all the way across. That was tip. Hayes has it. Now Jason Magna. Kreider feeds Stepan out to Yandel. Across to Hayes. Back the other way. Stepan, he shoots. That went off the defenseman to Hahn and wide of the net. Stepan again to Yandel. Here's Stepan moving in. Back to Keith Yandel. Into Hayes. Nobody there. And the puck out of the zone. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Yandel feeds Stepan. Stepan holds. Yandel winds up. Save. Halak. Played by Straight. Around the boards. Cizikas trying to play it. Stepan. Around to Yandel. They've been on for the entire power play. Zuccarello, Nash, and Boyle have come on. Here's Rick Nash. Sets up Stepan. Save. Halak. And the rebound was played with a high stick, and the Rangers took it back. Nash lost control. Cizikas able to clear. That does it for the power play. Teams at full strength. 2 shots on goal on that power play. Rangers 0 for 3 on the power play in the game. 0 for their last 18 over the last 7 games, including this one. Islanders with a 2-1 lead. Pass across. Strome with a shot wide. Hard shot. Leddy is back on for the Islanders. That shot off the side of the net by Tavares. McDonough fired it out. Leddy brings it back. Stopped by Zuccarello. Nick Leddy had gone 38 games without a goal this season. Now he has 2 goals in the last 6. And he comes up with the go-ahead goal here early in the 3rd. Dominic Moore fires in.
Yeah, Sam, we've seen with the Rangers too. Sometimes you got injuries. Other players, you have to do a little something different, change your game a little bit to help out.
Brock Nelson gets it ahead for Bailey. Nelson chases down a backhander, trying to bank it in off Lundqvist. Lundqvist didn't know where it was, and Anders Lee almost tried to push it through. But Lundqvist able to stop play. The Islanders on goals by Brock Nelson at 153 and Nick Leddy at 417 lead it 2-1. Let's answer the Cadillac trivia question. Who scored the Rangers' first and last goals at Nassau Coliseum?
No, I wasn't born when the first one was scored, Sam, so I'll guess at Kevin Klein for the second one.
I'm going Jean Rattel and Dan Girardi. Vic Hatfield and Rick Nash.
Well, we were close.
Okay. Hatfield scored. Might have got, maybe Rattel got an assist on that goal. JT Miller. That's gloved. Might have been going wide of the net. Halak reaches out and stops play. United by Blue. Game day and every day. Experience the official Rangers app to connect to breaking news, enhanced calendar, and a whole lot more. The official Rangers app. Download it now. You'll love it. Islanders a 2-1 lead. Just under 12 minutes to go in this 3rd period. Rangers scoring in the final minute of the 2nd. The puck taken away here by Clutterbuck. Cizikas, Miller on him with a good hit. Matt Martin with the puck. Kudlitsky across to Hickey. Cizikas and Miller wrestled each other to the ice. Matt Martin winds it deep. Good play by Miller. Yandel with the lead to Kreider. Kreider fires, and then it's a good save, tough save by Halak off his right shoulder. Tavares stopped in center. Kreider with a hit. Nick Leddy sends it in. Along the boards, McDonough able to move it to Kreider. Kreider drops it off to Hayes. Hayes looking, pass across to McDonough. Takes it deep. Hayes fires from a sharp angle. Loose puck in front. Leddy able to fight off the check and move it out of the zone. There's Grabowski the other way. Klein is there to stop him. McDonough sending it down the ice. And it turns into an icing on the Rangers. 10:29 to go here in the third period. The Islanders with a 2-1 lead.
Well, now, especially after John's report regarding the Rangers coming into this period, how quickly things can change. So now your mindset is different. You still want to try and stay patient because the Rangers, through 2 periods, had 58 attempted shots. And so, but they led, and instead of now thinking of making sure you do the right things in the neutral zone, when you get a chance to go, you got to try and get something towards the net.
Klein moved it up the board, stopped there by Pelech, in deep for Kuhlman. Swept away by Kevin Klein. And Kreider able to get it out of the zone. Here's Kevin Hayes. Straight is there. For Fost. Stahl back to Fost. That was blocked by Frans Nielsen. McElrath. Mark Stahl leads Nash. Nash drives in against strength, fires across. And the Islanders able to come away with it. Bailey brings it out. Brock Nelson. Peeled back, Rangers take over. Brassard. Now Zuccarello. Slowed down by Bailey. Brassard went down along with Anders Lee. Lee back in for the Islanders. Drops it to Bailey. Pass across. Lee turns. Save Lundqvist. Now Bailey. With Yandel on him. Kevin Klein for Zuccarello. 9 minutes to go in the third. Islanders with a 2-1 lead. That's off the stick of Tanner Glass. Hickey trying to play it out. It's lifted out by Nielsen. And Martin puts it in the Rangers zone. McElrath back for it. Yandel. Stolberg after the puck against Hickey. Tanner Glass moves in. And Yandel fires toward the net. Block. And a lot of these shots not getting through. Yandel with a good play, getting it back to McElrath.
That's been a big story of the game, Sam. The Rangers, plenty of scoring chances in this game.
Matt Martin by himself off the chest of Lundqvist.
And it's been good goaltending by Halak and some good work by the players in front of him.
Miller was stopped by Pelech. And a good play by Klein. That goes off the skate of JT Miller, and Pelech is back for it. Under 8 minutes to go here in the third. Give away to Miller. Miller carries back in. Miller challenges straight, goes around the net, trying to center. The Megna pass back to McDonough. Trying to get it to Megna, who's broken up by Pelech. And we talked about the Rangers collapsing in front of the net. That's what the Islanders do and have done very well in this game.
Again, I think they're trying to protect some of those younger defense.
McLeody, coast to coast, puts it in front. And it was deflected away. Okposo comes out and shoots. Saved by Lundqvist. Zuccarello for Nash. And DeHaan has it back. 7 minutes to go here in the third. This is an icing on the Islanders with 6:54 to go. Saturday on MSG, Rangers in Philadelphia to take on the Hot Flyers. They've won 4 in a row, 6 straight on home ice. Live coverage begins at 12:30 with Visa Rangers Game Night, the daytime edition with Bill Pino. Rangers and Flyers at 1 p.m. on MSG. Hope you'll join us. Brassard and Nielsen for the face-off. Brassard wins it. DeHaan able to get it out of the zone. McElrath bangs it off the glass. Nicoletti takes over. looked at the conference standings earlier. You see how close the race for the playoffs is already as we're into the second half. And teams like the Islanders the Flyers who started slowly are coming on now.
It wasn't all that long ago. They were 3-4 games under 500, and they just kind of battled back. They got Mark Streit back in the lineup. That helps them. Gostisbehere, the young defenseman, even though he's missed the last couple of games because of injuries, giving them a big lift on defense.
Every game is a battle. Teams who were out of it. Carolina's back in the hunt.
And they're winning again tonight, Carolina, in St. Louis in the second period.
Rangers take over. Stepan leaves it for Yandel. 6:20 to go in the third. Tipped ahead by Stepan. Zidlitsky back for it. JT Miller on him. And the puck out of the zone. Martin tried to play it. Dan Boyle, rather Megna covering up. Lost control. Nelson winds it to Matt Martin. Martin checked by Dan Boyle. Straight. Back to Cizikas with a shot deflected. Popped in the air. Batted down by Miller. Miller leaves it for Yandel. Under 6 minutes to go. 5:40 to go here in the third.
Islanders are playing well defensively. The Rangers haven't had a lot of opportunities in this third period.
Round it goes. Halak settles it for Pelech. Long pass for Strome off his stick. Cleared out by McElrath. Tavares. Lundqvist moves it to McElrath. Up the middle. Just past Jesper Fast.
Oh boy, Fast could have handled that. He had a 2-on-1. It was a good pass from McElrath.
Tavares trying to play it ahead. Rangers stop it. Stahl gets it out of the zone to Fast. Nash. Behind the net, Kevin Hayes. Hayes' pass deflects across. Klein keeps it in on the blue line.
Good play by Klein. That puck was a foot or so off the ice, and he knocked it down to keep it alive.
Stahl. Time winding down on the Rangers. And as you said, Joe, they're not getting many chances the last couple of minutes. Brassard moving in. Double team. Oposo chipped it off the board. Stopped by McDonough. McDonough fires across. Klein gets over. Here's Nash to Zuccarello. That's tipped wide by Brassard. He's got it behind the net. Taken away by DeHaan. And lifted out by Nielsen. 4 minutes to go here in the third.
Islanders short shifts. They're forechecking with one player, and they have most of their players back. Here they are again.
Zuccarello playing it down the board. Chipped away by Hickey out of the zone. Rangers recover. Dominic Moore drives it in. Off the stick of Halak. Islanders Lee able to clear it out.
Now Chris Kreider out with the fourth line. Tanner Glass not seeing ice time.
That puck was knocked down by Zidlitsky. Rangers able to play it deep. Moore gets to it. Winds it to Stallberg. Nelson plays it up the boards. Yandel pinched in but missed it. Bailey brings it out. Nice play by Dominic Moore to take it back. Moore moves in against Zidlitsky. Yandel fires. That's blocked. That's centered. And taken by Clutterbuck. JT Miller back for it. Matt Martin on him. Under 3 minutes to go in the third. Yandel. Islanders with 2 early goals here in the third to take the lead. Yandel's pass didn't have anything on it. Turned into a giveaway to Cizikas. McElrath with a puck.
Again, look at the Islanders. They're all just moving back towards the neutral zone. All 5 players. Not allowing the Rangers to carry the puck over the blue line. Got to dump it in like that and then try and get control of it. Not easy.
No, so as you see, as Cizikas picks it up, puts it deep into the Ranger zone. 2:20 to go. Derek Stepan. That was knocked away by Nielsen. And a big hit. sent Megna into the Islanders bench. And trouble getting back on the ice. Racing in is Nielsen. Spins. Beats Oposo. Shot blocked by Klein. Klein takes it. Oposo on him. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Rangers trail 2-1. Nielsen to DeHaan. Boy, the Islanders have done a great job protecting this one-goal lead. McDonough around to Boyle. Minute 35 to go.
And there it is, pretty simple. 1-4 checker, everybody back. Rogers again forced to dump it and go get it.
Kreider dumped it in. Lundqvist to the bench. Rangers net is empty. 6 skaters on. Kevin Hayes joined the group. Check by Kreider wide. Big rebound comes out to McDonough. With Zuccarello. Brassard. Hayes out to Boyle for the shot. Blocked in front. Hayes trying to play it. Does. To Brassard. Around the boards for Boyle. Tavares gets to it. Able to clear it down the ice. No icing. Under a minute to go. McDonough fires it around to Hayes. Back to Boyle. 50 seconds to go. JT Miller. Lost control. Yandel intercepted by Oposo. Shot deflected away by Stepan. 35 seconds to go. Boyle to Yandel. Wide of the net off the glass. Stepan lets it go to Nash. Stepan checked by DeHaan. Oposo trying to clear his block. 20 seconds to go. Nash hit by Nelson. Nash keeps it alive. Boyle shot blocked. Nash to Yandel. In deep. Deflection goes wide. Oposo's got it with 5 seconds. And he scores. The Islanders put it away with 1.9 seconds remaining with the empty net goal by Kyle Oposo. And they will take this second meeting with the Rangers.
Well, they haven't given the Rangers hardly anything in this third period. I mean, they just decided to play defensive hockey, make sure everyone's back, try to get the puck through. It's been difficult all night to get the puck from the slot to the net. And Kyle Oposo was able to take that deflected shot. And the final face-off, and what a turn of events early in the third period. And the Rangers, I don't want to say had things under control, but they had played 2 real solid periods. They make that real serious. Kevin Hayes had a 15-second span where he gave the puck away twice and then screened the goaltender, and all of a sudden it's tied. They come right back with the power play goal, and now you've got a different style of play and a different period, obviously.
First game that the Rangers have lost this season when leading going into the third period. And the first regulation loss when leading after 2 periods since November of 2013, 66 games. So the Islanders with a big comeback early. They scored a power play goal. And once again, Yaroslav Halak.
He was good.
8 straight wins over Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah, you know what, Sam? Again, he got hurt. He came back and played 2 games. Neither of those games he was very good or very sharp. But early on, the Rangers had chances in this game. And at one point, the shots were 10-4, and Halak was excellent to keep it even early.
Once again, the Rangers unable to put 2 wins together back-to-back as they're beaten by the Islanders 3-1. We'll be right back.